Hey, welcome to the channel. What do you guys want to talk about? What happened on NXT? I got you. Let's see. I loved the opening of tonight's show where the two teams gave a short promo while making their way to the ring. It really made the show feel like pretty big, and then the transition from the lights going out and then coming back on for the entrance of Metaphor, that was all just fantastic. And I also love the presentation of Fatal Influence. They give off this big time feel, lots of inspiration from Toxic Attraction but in a very good way, and Fallon Henley and JC Jane being the tag team is also a good decision because it leaves Jasmine Nings open to go after a singles title. She's got that main event star level potential, and I'm glad they're putting everything together like this. Very good. Fatal Influence wins. They've been built up for ages, and finally getting to show off what they can do is very nice, and Metaphor doesn't lose any momentum since they haven't been doing anything much anyways. Up next is Izzy Dame vs Carmen Petrovic, a battle of the basic blondes. Normally I wouldn't like these nothing matches, but there's not a lot of giants in the women's division and I enjoy Izzy Dame because she fills that niche for me. And Carmen gets the roll-up victory. I would have much rather have her win clean, but just please let's not run this match back just because of that roll-up. I enjoy both these guys, they're good, but they shouldn't be feuding. They're not interesting enough to carry these feuds on their own. And Carmen will probably face Roxanne next, because she was taken out of that eliminator match. She didn't have a fair chance, and that gives her a plausible reason to go after that belt. And well, she'll probably be Roxanne's final opponent before the big guns return and debut. Okay, so next, I loved this segment between Ashante the Adonis and Eddie Thorpe. Eddie is showing some girls this footage of him DJing, and Ashante the Adonis interrupts trying to flirt them up, but they run away from him. Ashante asked Eddie which one is his because he doesn't want to step on any toes, but he can't understand that Eddie just has a platonic relationship with these girls. I love this all, and Ashante is definitely getting pushed soon, right? He's been incredible since returning to NXT. He's so entertaining. His gimmick is working very well, right? I want to see more of him. I think he has a lot of potential. I also love giving NXT credit where credit is due, and they always knock it out of the park with these backstage interview segments. So Jada Parker is having a sit-down interview and she's talking about her backstory as a soccer player, and now she's ready to face Roxanne Perez at No Mercy. And right on cue, Roxanne Perez enters the room and the two have this back and forth before Jada gets up, gives Roxanne this bitch slap and leaves. We all know Jada isn't going to win, but she already feels like such a big star. Like sometimes she genuinely feels like a bigger star than Roxanne. She just exudes this aura, this confidence. She's confident on the mic. She's very good in the ring. Maybe not better than Roxanne in the ring, but with everything else, she blows Roxanne away. Am I wrong? Because I sure feel like she is the bigger star, even though Roxanne is being pushed as the top face. Okay, I just said I love giving NXT credit, but this next segment was very underwhelming. The NQCC lost to the family. You all probably know by now, but I've loved this whole story, especially on the side of the NQCC, but this was such an underwhelming match. It felt like the climax of this story was Charlie winning back the Heritage Cup, and this match was just extra because why not? But at least the family came out of his match looking much better. Adriano Rizzo had a really good comeback after that weak performance in the Eliminator, while Luca Cruzifino, man, he looked like a beast. Like seriously, it's insane to think that he's still only 23 years old. That's crazy. And that Shatter Machine, that Shatter Machine at the end of the match with Stax and Cruzifino looked glorious. I really hope they keep that. I love the family in this match, but everything else, it didn't work. And then Zach Wentz absolutely destroyed Wesley on the mic. Damn, whatever Wes tried to say, Zach had a comeback for it. I'm honestly really impressed. I didn't know he had it in him. I thought he was always the third member of the Rascals, just the guy that's there with Trey Miguel and Wesley being the stars. And he proved me wrong. He was so confident on the mic, sometimes felt more confident than Wes, and he was very good. It makes you think they probably regret releasing him back then. Considering all the allegations ended up being false, disclaimer, I think they were false. I don't exactly remember, don't hold me to that please. But I do think they probably regret it because I think there is something there. Maybe not main event potential, but something. But seriously, go check out this segment. It was really good and really fun. And very personal. It was very personal. Definitely worth the watch. Kalani Jordan is in the ring ready to face an opponent of Wendy Chu's choosing. And now I always come into the defense of my queen Kalani. And I always point out that it's just developmental. But gosh, she's really raw on the mic. Now me personally, I'll give her time. I'll give her some patience. but I've seen so much hate online towards her recently, and I don't think it's warranted at all. Like, seriously, she's been on TV for about a year, and she's already super good. She's still developing, that's why she's here. Just give her some time, her mic skills will come along. And at the very worst, she'll just end up being a female Ricochet, which isn't the end of the world. It's really not, it's actually a really good spot. So her floor is really high, and she can only go up from here. Her mystery opponent though is revealed to be Rosemary from TNA, and she looked amazing here. There was a time, a very long time ago, where she was one of my favorite wrestlers. Not these days anymore, but it was a nice moment for me to see my old favorite versus one of my new favorites. And just a tangent, TNA needs to change up their lighting a bit though, because all of the stars that come to NXT look a lot better. TNA is just a bit too grainy and a bit too dark, and it gives this basement-like feel and not this big-time feel. Give it a look like NXT and a production like NXT, because even some NXT stars that go to TNA, they don't look as high tier as they do on NXT. So just a bit of change. But Kalani defeats Rosemary, and after the match she gets attacked by Wendy Chu. Wendy probably won't win, but I'm more and more excited for this match after every week. It should be really good. Chase Yor in their classroom still celebrating the fact that they won the tag team championships, but Fraxium interrupt and they say that they're not ready for this team at full strength. I don't necessarily want to see this match again, not so soon, but it'll be a banger nonetheless and just a good match at this pay-per-view. Javon Evans takes on Joe Coffey with Gallus in a match I was very excited for, the match I was most excited for on tonight's card. I love these two guys and their styles are so different and so unique, but they mesh so well together. And this match, it wasn't disappointing at all. It lived up to all of my expectations. Go watch it, it was so good. And you know what? Please, let's run it back at No Mercy. I would love to see that. I just want to see stuff go on. And you know what? Javon Evans losing doesn't hurt him at all. Gallus interfered, so Javon looks fine. And Joe Coffey gets a much needed victory. I am very excited to see how this progresses. Oba Femi has taken an uninvited seat at Tony D'Angelo's restaurant and shows him a lot of disrespect. Tony tries to point out some similarities between the two, but Oba gets up and leaves and keeps showing him lots of disrespect. Storyline wise, it would make sense for Tony to win, but no, I will get absolutely pissed if Oba loses. Don't even think of that. Okay, and now it is main event time, and Joe Hendry is having his second ever concert on NXT at least, and this was really fun and really funny. I love how Ethan Page isn't afraid of having himself be made fun of, and he embraces it. But before the concert can end, Ethan Page interrupts and he says everything shown on the screen is shown out of context. Ava then comes out and says because Ethan put his hands on all the referees all the time, there will be a special guest referee who is revealed to be Trick Williams. Joe Hendry covers Ethan Page, Trick Williams counts, and they have this false celebration with Joe Hendry waving the championship around from side to side. This was a great way for the show to go off the air. Now, like I do on the end of each of these videos, I give the show ranking, and tonight's show gets a 9 out of 10. It was a very good go-home show, made you excited for all the matches happening Sunday at No Mercy, and the few feuds that are not happening at No Mercy ended here, and it was just a good show, very worth the watch. I would highly suggest it. And now, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. Let's grow this channel. We're getting ever so close to 100 subscribers, something I am looking very forward to reaching. So please help me out here, and I will see you guys a few more times this week for some videos. Goodbye.